Have you ever felt the energy in a room suddenly shift, or a chill run down your spine when there was no one there? Well, as the veil thins, it's not only our ancestors who draw close, but other energies can stir too. And that's why every witch needs a solid and powerful protection practice. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 simple ways to shield yourself and your space. So stay tuned. Welcome, wild ones. I am Emma Louise Dyson, earth medicine woman and shamanic witch, and your guide here at Wild and Untamed. And on this channel, we share seasonal witchcraft, stone and plant medicine, and practices that really help you to live in harmony with the changing of the seasons and the wheel of the year. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure that you do like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I've got some absolutely fantastic videos all around spooky season coming up for you over the next couple of weeks. So October, it is the season when the veil thins. And while that brings us closer to our ancestors, it also means that our boundaries need to be stronger as well. So protection, it isn't about fear. I want to make that really clear right now. Protection is about sovereignty. It is about deciding what gets into your space and what doesn't. So let's dive into my top 5 protection practices every witch should know as we move into the deeper, darker season. So number 1, warding your space. What does that mean? So when we talk about protection, I always like to start with my space, because the energy of your home really sets the tone for everything else that you do. October's energy can feel different, right? When witches say the veil is thinning, what we mean is that the boundary between the seen and the unseen worlds, between the living and the spirit realm, begins to soften a little bit. So you might notice more dreams, more sensations, seeing things in your peripheral vision, or there just might be a different kind of feeling in the air. And I just want to, say straight off the back of this, it's not scary, right? It is not scary, but it does mean that your space can feel a little busier energetically. So it's really worth putting up some protective wards. So first of all, start with your entry points. Doors, windows, your main thresholds of your house. And I like to sweep the floor towards the main doors and windows and thresholds to really clear out any old energy. Then you can lay a thin line of salt or herbs like rosemary, bay or yarrow along the boundaries as well. Just be mindful if you've got pets, wildlife, if you're going to be putting salt down. You can also hang those herbs above your door. It's an old-fashioned folk tradition, but it absolutely still works beautifully today. And there is just something, I don't know, beautiful in bundling up some herbs and hanging them in the home. Maybe we're tapping into like our ancestry there. We can also look at crystals. So crystals like black tourmaline, obsidian, smoky quartz, they work really well near doors and windows because they act like a energetic filter. So they ground the space, but they also help to keep out what doesn't belong. And then I like to trace protective symbols or sigils over my doors and windows. I usually use my finger, maybe dip it in a little bit of moon water, or you could work with smoke. It doesn't have to be fancy. It is more about setting the intention. So I often say something like, only energy for the highest good may enter this space. Now let's talk about mirrors, because this one for me is really important. Mirrors are liminal tools. They reflect energy, but they also kind of act like an open doorway if you're doing spiritual work, especially around Samhain. So for me, it's really important to lock my mirrors and my reflective surfaces. So how do I do that? So first of all, I will cleanse the surface, quick wipe down with some salt water, with some moon water, smoke works, and then I trace a protective sigil across the surface with my finger. And again, I say something like, this mirror is closed to spirit. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can use a pentagram, you can use an algiz, a rune, you can create your own protective symbols, you could draw crosses, whatever feels right to you. You can also cover your mirrors then with a cloth or a scarf if it feels better for you, especially while you're sleeping or doing any kind of ritual work. Now remember, this is all about energetic hygiene. It is not about blocking magic. It is just about setting the rules for your space. When your home feels clear, when it feels protected, everything you do inside flows more smoothly. Number 2, personal shielding. So once my space feels protective, the next layer is you. So personal shielding is basically energetic self-defense, but it's in a kind of calm, everyday manner rather than being aggressive. So it's not about fear, it's about awareness. You're reinforcing your own energy field so that you don't absorb anything that isn't yours. And as an empath, and I know a lot of you watching also identify as being empaths, this is really important. And especially now as the veil thins and the energy around us can feel stronger or more unpredictable, it is really important to do. So the simplest way to do this is through visualization. So you can do this with me if you like right now. You'll take a deep breath and imagine the energy moving from your core and moving outwards. So it's like we're pushing the energy from our core out through our body, all around us, forming this bubble or this cloak around you. It can look like light or flame or mist or a glass bubble, a mirrored bubble, bouncing things off, whatever feels natural to you. The key is that it's yours and it's not blocking you off from the world. It is there to filter what gets to reach you. And if visualization isn't your thing, or if you want to add more layers, you can use physical anchors as well. Jewelry is brilliant. So a ring, a pendant, a bracelet that you charge with the intention of protection. So when you put it on, you can hold it or before you put it on and just say something like, as I wear this, my energy stays my own. As I wear this, my energy stays my own. Or whatever you want to say, right? And you can then also incorporate crystals for protection. So black tourmaline, labradorite, obsidian in your jewelry can add an additional layer of protection too. Or you could stuff them in your bra, put them in your handbag, in your purse, whatever works for you. Color magic is another way to add an additional layer of protection. So black is very grounding and it absorbs negative energy. Red is strong and has fiery protection. White is going to reflect energy away. So even what you wear can become part of your daily shielding practice. And remember, shields fail, they don't fail, but they fade. Let's say they fade over time, especially if we are stressed or if we're tired or if we're doing a lot of energy work. Like, our shields need a bit of a refresh. So you can make sure that you refresh them every morning with your intention, with your breath, I don't know, a simple gesture like kind of running your hands down your body to like smooth and reset your energy field is amazing. I like to do this as well with, I've got some here, with selenite. So you can brush through your energy fields. In fact, let's move on to that next because we're going to be talking about cleansing. Number 3 is cleansing. So even with good wards and good shields, energy builds up, right? It is just part of life. So every thought, every conversation, every visitor is going to leave an imprint. And if we don't clear it out now, the space is going to start to feel heavy and stale, and even anxious. And that's where cleansing comes in. Have you ever been into a room after somebody's had an argument? You can feel the energy, right? So it's really important that we do this. So you can cleanse with smoke, with water, with sound, with movement. You can use whatever you feel drawn to. For me, I love to cleanse with garden sage, mugwort, and rosemary smoke. I go slowly through each room, and it's not about waving it around, right? It's about really working into the corners, the doorways, under tables, behind doors, all those little pockets where the energy can gather. And I don't just clear my space when I do a cleanse. As I go, I also seal. So as I go around, again, we go back to drawing these protective symbols or sigils in the air. I do it on the walls. It could be a pentacle, a rune, one that I've created myself. And I'll also breathe intention into them as well. So as I am creating these symbols in the air or on the walls, I'm actually imagining them locking into place like this energetic light switch that keeps the vibration really clean. But if you prefer not to use smoke, you can do the same thing with water, a bowl of salt water. I love to make, I'm getting excited now. I love to make a protection spray, a cleansing spray, a mist in a spray bottle with some salt and some different essential oils. And then you could either flick from the bowl of water or you can mist it around the room. And again, visualize it washing away anything that doesn't belong. I also love working with sound. In fact, before I do any cleansing, I usually start with sound, bells, rattles, even clapping around your home can break up stagnant energy really fast. Follow your intuition, right? When the space feels lighter, you'll know you've done enough. And finally, really important, move the air. Always, I repeat, always open the windows when you are cleansing. It's up to you how you cleanse. A lot of people say that they like to cleanse from top to bottom and from back to front. So we're moving everything out or from front to back, whatever feels right to you. I am not one for hard rules. I think it's a really intuitive practice. But what I am really firm on is opening the windows. So you're going to let that stagnant energy, it needs somewhere to go. So let the breeze carry it out when it's ready to leave, because energy loves movement. And cleansing isn't just about chasing away bad vibes, right? It's just kind of good energetic hygiene. The same way that you wouldn't let dust pile up, don't let the energy pile up either. Moving on to number 4, banishing and boundaries. Now, banishing sounds like one of those words that's a bit dramatic, right? It's like casting out the demons. And I do that. I do house clearings, but that is not what this is about today. This is about empowerment. It is not fear-based, but it is about claiming your space. It's about saying, this is my energy. This is my boundary. I choose what belongs here. So I'll usually save like the deeper banishing work that I do for the waning moon. So the waning moon is after the full moon, and then it starts to get smaller. And this is when the energy of release and letting go is strongest, right? The moon is releasing, the moon is getting smaller and as well. So it's a good time for us to release and a good time for us to let go. So you can do this in many ways, but I'll share a few of my favorites with you. When it comes to banishing, I like to start with my voice and my body. Energy responds to movement and sound. So I use my hands a lot, like pushing away energy back from my body or out of the room, almost like I'm kind of like sweeping it out or whooshing it out. I don't know what this is, shooing it out. And I'll also use my voice as well. So I'll say something really short but clear, like out, right? You don't belong here. Leave in peace. Out. You don't belong here. Leave in peace. And sometimes I can combine that again with a candle or some smoke as I move through the space, but I'm always pushing the energy towards any open windows or doors, and I'm visualizing it leaving completely. And then I will seal the space again, usually just with a phrase like, only calm, grounded energies remain here. Only calm, grounded energies remain here. And when something heavier needs to go, energy that is stuck or toxic or just isn't yours, I'll do a more intentional banishing. So what I tend to do here is write things down, not just a word, but what it actually feels like. The tightness in my chest, the looping thoughts that keep going round, the tension that's been building, the heavy areas in my house, because putting it into words gives it a form. And once it has a form, I can then release it. So then I like to burn it, right? Safely, of course, fireproof bowls, outside, all of that kind of stuff. And as it burns, I focus on the smoke, carrying that energy up and out of my field. And if fire doesn't feel right to you, you can bury it instead. You can tear it into pieces and scatter it under running water. The point isn't like the method, it's the intention. You're telling the energy, you've done your job, now you can leave. Yeah? And when you've done this, please ground, press your feet into the floor, go outside if you can, take a deep breath and just come inside and say, my space is clear. My energy is my own. And that's how you close the loop, right? Nothing is left hanging. Nothing is invited back in. Banishing isn't about pushing things away because you're afraid. It is about returning to sovereignty. It's how you stand firm in your own energy and you decide what stays and what goes. And finally, number 5, calling on our allies. Now, protection doesn't mean doing it all on your own. We are not meant to do it all on our own. Every witch works with allies. You may see them, they may be seen, they may be unseen. You may have yet to connect deeply with them, but we all have them 100%. And they stand behind us when the energy gets a little bit heavy. So the first allies you could call upon could be your ancestors, the ones who walked before you, and they know what it means to survive in this world. So you can call them very simply. You can light a candle and say their names, or by asking them out loud. Those who love me and walk in the light, stand with me now. Those who love me and walk in the light, stand with me now. You don't need fancy words, you just need intention, right? And then there's just spirit guides and also the land spirits, the energies that move with you or that live in the place that you do. And I always acknowledge the spirits of the land that I am on before I do any kind of strong protection work. It's a way of saying, I see you, let's work together. You can also work with animal allies too. They are really powerful protectors. So you might already know yours, the ones that show up in your meditations, your dreams, in real life again and again and again. So you can call on their energy when you are warding or when you are shielding. Let me give you an example. Wolf energy brings guardianship and loyalty. Snake brings boundaries and transformation. You could call upon the crow to bring watchful awareness of your space. And I've just been covered in goosebumps as I say that. You could also call upon protective deities as well, if that's part of your path. Hecate, Brigid, the Morrigan, Archangel Michael, Bast, whoever you work with, right? Just remember, it is about partnership when you're working with anything, really. It's not about dependence. So you're not handing over your power, you are reinforcing it. I like to keep small tokens or offerings for my allies. So a candle for the ancestors, a crystal, a small figurine for the spirit animals, maybe a coin or a flower for the land spirits outside my door. And this just keeps those relationships alive. Remember that protection isn't a one-way act, right? It's this collaboration between you, your energy, your home, and the unseen network of beings who have got your back, right? So there we go, folks. That is my 5 protection practices that every witch should know, especially now as we move deeper into October and the veil begins to thin. And if you're ready to take this work deeper, I am really excited to announce that I am hosting a live Samhain ritual experience on the 30th of October. It is called Threads of the Dead. And we are going to be journeying into the other world together, working with the threads of our ancestry. We're going to be weaving real magic for the season of the dead. And I am so excited to share this with you. It is completely free to join. When you sign up, you'll also be offered my Samhain Grimoire and Ancestor Mysteries portal. So this is a beautiful collection of ebooks and spells and rituals and guided practices to really deepen your work this season as well. And you're going to want to grab these because they'll be, there's going to be new grimoires and portals released every Sabbath and every season. So something to collect, something to learn from, to go back to work with all year round. So there we go, folks. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I've got some really good ones coming up this month. Ancestor magic, Samhain rituals, all working around the energy of the dark season. And you'll find all of the links below. So come and join me for my ritual Threads of the Dead on the 30th of October. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Stay cool, won't you?